going on, guys? It's Justin. I'm back. Skipped last week. I honestly didn't need to make a video last week because Brian actually made the same video as me. So the video I was going to post last week, I'm going to just give you a link for that video in the description down here. So Brian, he did the CX5 display upgrade, the 10.25 inch display upgrade that we have available. And the only thing you really need to do is buy a 3D mount, and there's like 2 people that sell it pretty cheap. Well, I'll send you the link for that, and the guy who I went to for the mount, because the mount that I have is not also a mount. It has the screws, and there's also the stripping to kind of insulate the bottom of the screen. But I also decided not to do that because I actually like having that space underneath my screen so I can clean under there. So I'm going to send you Brian's video because he did a better video than I did. And also, I didn't follow the instructions like that I was given for the screen installation. And because I didn't follow the instructions, I ended up skipping all of the beginning steps to see if the display worked. So I went and grinded down the bottom pieces of the display, did all the stuff, got the mount mounted on the display, went to put it in the car, and then when I when I plugged everything up, the screen was discolored. The contrast was all messed up. And I'm like, oh crap, maybe I should have went to the steps and disconnected the battery and pulled the fuse. So I tried to pull a fuse and disconnect the battery to see if it might reset the screen. But when I did everything, it still, looked all messed up. And I was just like, dang, man, like I got a bad screen. So, took it out, brought it back in, and ordered another one. And I'm trying to figure out like what could have went wrong. So I started taking the display apart, and then I noticed the orange connection for the display had a hole in it. And I'm like, oh crap, did I cause this hole when I was doing my Dremel tool to knock off the bottom mounts that need to be removed, that need to be shaved off? And I thought maybe I did it, and it maybe sparked and put a hole in it. Come to find out, I went back to the eBay listing that I bought the mount or the display from, and in the pictures, if you zoom in, there was a hole already in it. So luckily I had that evidence on the picture. So I took, screenshots and sent that to the guy who sold me the display, and like, hey man, there was a hole in here and it caused this, thing to happen. So, I already sent back the display that had the hole in it. But I had to take the case. I had to wait until I got my new display, take the back case off of it and swap it, and put the full casing on that one, and then use the one that I already cut with the mount and put it on the new display. So I had to wait till I got the other display to swap it out. And hopefully the guy isn't too mad about that, which I don't think he'll be mad because I have evidence why the display wasn't working, and it was nothing I did, because his pictures showed there was a hole in the connector. So follow the instructions, guys. Test the screen before you start cutting and dremeling things off and the back end of it. Because had I not had those pictures from eBay that showed the hole, I would have been in deep doo-doo. He could have said I damaged the product and I might not get my refund. So we'll see if I get my refund here in a couple days. But yeah, I'm gonna send you the link for Brian's video, and we'll keep this short today. All I'm gonna do is show you guys part 2, which is how to log with Mazdaedit. So pretty much we're just gonna go to my car, and I'm gonna show you how to log, and my 10.25 display is already in there. It's nice, and also it got rid of my rattling, guys. So that was the last thing. There I had the display rattle in the back, and I think just because of how the mount, the new display is sitting, the display is not hitting the bottom of the dash or in the back of it somewhere. So now I have 0 rattles, guys. So that was my real reasoning for buying the display, was to see if that would help get rid of the interior rattle, and it did. So I got my new display for like $290 295, 298. I think a little bit under 300. My mount was $50, so for 350, a little bit under 350, I got the mount with the screws included in the kit. Is a complete kit versus the one that Brian got. It was $32 for his mount, but it didn't come with the screws or the insulation in it, which you don't really need. But I would rather pay the extra $18 to have all the screws I need in it instead of having to go out and buy screws. Everything's already included in the kit, and I'll send you his link so you guys can buy from him on Instagram. So yeah, that's it. We're gonna go in there and do my logging. Brian, and Brian, before I even mention it, there are some cheaper monitor displays than I got. I got mine for 300. Brian got his for 200. I actually just saw another display on eBay for 180, and it has a small blemish on it that you can just literally clean up with, just, I don't know, you could probably just wax it and it'll come out. But yeah, I saw it's display for $180. Brian got his for 200, and then he got a $32 amount, and then he had to go buy his nuts and stuff. So he paid $240 for his whole display, whereas I paid around, $350-ish. So, but you guys can do it for around $200 if you search. It was very hard for me to find one under 200, but you can do it. So now we're gonna go to the car, and I'm just gonna show you the quick little easy steps, how to start your Mazdaedit logging, how to check for your codes if you get like a sale or anything like that. So when go in the car, and I'll just show you where to go to do your logging, and then also like to check for, like if you get a check engine, like how to check what the codes are so you can relay that back to me. All right, here we go, guys. So we're in my car, and I just want to show you something. You don't have to log this way, but I do prefer to log with the computer. But if you don't want to log with your computer and it's too bulky and you're worried about the cable getting away of your foot, there's also an SD slot right here. So there's an SD slot where you can insert, and it'll start recording. But the thing is, when you put this in there, I'm going to have to do some trimming. Like the file, you can't start and stop the log. So it'll just, you can put the micro SD, I believe. It's not a big SD card. I think it's a micro. And you can put a micro in there and do your logging. And when you're done, just pull it out and you can upload it onto your computer if you want to do it that way, guys. But I'm going to do it the way that I've been doing it this whole time, which is having my computer open in my passenger seat. First thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and plug this Tatrix into the car, into the OBD2 port, like we always do. All right. And if you're getting power, it should light up just like so. So it should light up if you have power. Make sure the cable that's plugged in at the bottom is all the way plugged in. So that has power. And what you want to do is you can double check to make sure the cable is good. So what you want to do, if it's your first time using it, go ahead and disconnect this again, right? And then connect it to your computer. Now, what should happen is the device should light up just like it did when it's plugged into the OBD2 port. So both, you should be getting power from both ends, so they're communicating. So now that I verified that it worked on the OBD2 port and that it worked on the computer, I'm going to go ahead and plug this back in. So we are getting power both ways. That means my cable is properly plugged and it's working. So now after that's all done, my cable's plugged in, I'm going to go here, put the car into accessory mode, double click. Hey, look at that nice display I have here, that 10.25. It looks so nice without that extra bezel on the side. And, the 2024s come with the 10.25 as well, but it has more bezel. And this is really growing on me without the bezel that you can get on the 2024, like Carbon and the Premium Plus Turbo. But anyways, let's get back to this. So you're going to go ahead and, after you plugged it up and your car's in accessory mode, now you're going to open up your Mazdaedit. All right, this is going to be very easy, guys. Short and to the point. So my computer is really slow, so don't worry about it. So now that we have Mazdaedit open, there we go. All you're going to do, and you guys can have the car on when you do this, but I just prefer to be in accessory mode for now. You're going to go over to this red, it's still loading, this red Mazda. So open Mazda 2 second gen CAN logger. So this red Mazda emblem, you're going to click it. This is your logger. You're gonna click that. All right. After you click that, you need to connect. So now you're gonna just hit the connect, and it's gonna connect to your ECU. Bam, connecting. All right, very simple, guys. So now all of a sudden all these parameters show up. So there's all these parameters that you can choose from, but usually this is about all I'm gonna want from you guys. So the main one that I really focus on is this knock retard. This is what I care about mostly. Obviously, I do care about like air-fuel ratio. It depends on what tune you're running. The air-fuel ratio is going to be really important to me, along with your knock retard, and your mass airflow to make sure you're flowing the right amount of air to confirm if you have an air leak or not. So these are like the main parameters I'm going to ask you to check off, because you can go to this list and you can just check off what you want to show up. So after you check off the ones you want to show up, you go here and it's just going to show you're selected, the ones that you chose. Now down here will let you know if you're actually logging data. All right, so right now it's white down here in this loading bar down here, is not showing green. So what you want to do is, this is going to let you know if you're logging or not. If you're collecting data, this is going to happen. You're going to go up to this logging, right? Most of these cars is set up for automatic logging. Mine is not. My software is not set up for that. So I have to go here and hit log data to file. Once I hit that, this green bar shows up. All right. Now that means I am logging data. So now all I got to do is just turn this on, and you're going to start seeing all these readings right here. All right. So my car is logging data. So, after this, I would just go around and drive and do whatever I need to as far as collecting the data. Second gear pulls, driving around normal, whatever I need to. Now, after you're done collecting the data, come to a complete stop somewhere, because you got your car, your computer in the car. Get somewhere safe. Pull over somewhere safe, not just on the side of the road where people are traveling 70 miles an hour. Get somewhere safe. After you get somewhere safe, to save this now, all you're going to do is go back to logging, and then you hit the same thing again. Log data to file. Now it's saved that log, and then you can go and relabel it if you need to. Okay, so it's that simple, guys. That's how you log. So next thing I want to do, and what I want to talk about is, you can do more than just logging on here. But what's really important, because some of you guys are not doing your installations correct, or there's just a lot going on with your car. You'll get a check engine light. If you get a check engine light, here's what you're gonna do. You don't need to go buy to O'Reilly's because you have Mazdaedit. You don't need to go get a separate device to clear your codes. You don't need a code reader. We have a built-in code reader with this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go over to DTC. Or you can hit F4. You click on it, and it's gonna give you all the codes you have. So right now the car is running, so well, it should show some codes if it did have any. But anyways, I have no fault codes, guys, with the supercharger. But if I did have codes, it would show up here, and then you can send it to me. And you can also just save the fault codes if you do get them. So you save the DTCs, and you can save that and send it to me if you do get a fault code. So say your car's running lean, you can send me that, and it'll tell me like what RPM the car's running lean. So that is how you check your check engine light codes, guys. That's pretty much it. You got your dashboard, blah, blah, blah. So say, you did your logging, and some of you guys are curious. You can open the last log for yourself if you want to, if you think you know how to study this stuff, and you can just check on it and see what's going on. So you can go to these different types of grid and like check on all this stuff if you guys really want to, But yeah, that is pretty much it for logging, guys. It's very simple. There's also a dyno. I'll show you guys how to do this later, how you set this all up so you guys can kind of see what kind of power you're making, make some corrections on it. It's pretty accurate, if I must say. A lot of people don't even know this. If you don't have a dyno near you and you really want to do one, I can show you guys how to set up all these parameters so you guys can do virtual dynos. You just need to make sure it's on a flat road. that way it's pretty accurate, because if you're going uphill, it's going to show less power. If you're going downhill, it's going to show you more power than you actually have. So this is great in conjunction when you guys are using draggies and you can find a flat road. This will give you pretty accurate power within 10 wheel horsepower, which you're actually making. That's it for today, guys. I'll leave some pictures of the nice 10.25 display. I stole pictures from other guys, so I'll show you Brian's stock display versus the CX5 display, so you can see like the bezel difference and the size difference in the display. And then I'll also show you what the CX5 2.5 or 10.25 display is compared to the 2024 10.25 display that comes standard on the 2024 Turbo Carbon Edition and the 2024 Premium Plus. No other model comes with the 10.25 for the 3, and it's going to be very hard for you to find a 10.25 display from the brand new 2024. But you can get this one, which actually is growing on me, and I like the bezel on it a lot more because it's less bezel versus the 2024 one. It has more bezel, and I don't know how I feel about that parallelogram shape anymore. So guys, I'll just leave a comparison picture for you so you guys can see the display. If you can get it for 200 or under, I would recommend it. I kind of wish I didn't pay 300 and I got it 100 cheaper, but one of you guys are going to be lucky enough to get that deal. I'll leave you with the pictures. That's all for today, guys. Catch you later.